back in another video of Claptraps Rival. I just got done filming the last bit of the bumper on the 350Z, but right now I kind of went back in, throw on some more shit because I know I was going to be told. It's like 40 degrees out right now, and pretty much the start of this is just me going, and I think I'm going to start. I don't really know where I'm going to start from. I know at the moment I need to get the oil pan off, I need to get the rod caps off, push the pistons out. After that I can then start working on doing the ring gap, cleaning up the pistons just a little bit. There's a lot of carbon buildup on them. I do have to clean up the bottom of the head, which I have set over there. That has a lot of carbon buildup on all of the valves. I'm pretty much I'm kind of just gonna hit it with brake clean, hit it with a wire brush, and call it good, because I don't really give a fuck too much about this motor. The one that's in this car, if it's still good, if the crank's still good, that's gonna get rebuilt and put back into that car, and the built motor will eventually move over to this one. There's a bunch of other stuff I gotta explain about everything that's in here. Do have a built motor. Not gonna get into that. Let's get fixing on this. So first things first, while I was off camera, kind of just cleaned all this up. I kind of just threw all my tools over there. The head is over there, like I said. It's kind of just sitting off to the side for right now. And what I want to do first is, I was working on this, but I realized that this isn't priority. So I need to not focus on that and go back to what I was supposed to focus on, which is getting the oil pan off. I need to get the oil pan off. Once that's dropped out, I can take the rod caps off. Once I get the rod caps off, I can push the pistons at the top. Right now, which I'm trying not to block all the light, but you can kind of hear this if I can get the... These piston rings are shot. On pretty much every one of those, so get those out. I'm pretty sure that's the cause of why this motor just completely lost compression. We get these out, we'll get the new rings ground and put back on. So that's the plan. Let's get on that. Currently up underneath Claptrap. I'll kind of show you, it's dark as hell. I don't have good lighting. See if we can get this to focus. But there's a few bolts on the oil pan. Each one of these are 10 millimeters. Go all the way around each side. There's another one here. You can't see at all. Sorry about this. Don't have good lighting. I'm gonna get an attachment so I can get a little further in, but yeah, no, there's bolts all the way around. I'm gonna get all these bolts off, get this oil pan out. When I get this out, I'll show you guys again where the rod caps are and everything, so get on that. Okay, so I figured out why I couldn't use my flash. It's because I can't use the flash when I'm using the wide angle lens. So the rest of these clips are going to be a little different than the rest of the video. But I did get some of the bolts removed. It's easier to see in here. God, this thing had a real bad oil pan leak. You can see that there's actually oil residue pretty much all the fucking bolt holes all the way around. The next thing I'm going to do though is take off, there's these two big brackets here. Take these off. I think these are 12 mil. Or these are 12 mil. And then I think this is a 14. So we get those off. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure this thing does have a rear main leak real bad. But I'm gonna see if it's just because the oil pan gasket's bad all the way around. But I got a bracket on this side and a bracket on this side. Take those off. And I should be able to get this pan out. That's my plan right now. So with further inspection, I'm pretty sure I have to take this dust shield off to be able to get the last bolt that's like way up in here. So I got a bolt here. I'll twist around and get up in here. Is there another one? I don't know if there's another bolt. I know there's this one right here. But nope, doesn't look like there's another one. Just those two bolts. So I'm gonna take that one off. Take that corroded one that you can barely even tell is a bolt, this thing off. Let me clean that off really quick. Yeah, that bolt, that has to come out, and then this shield will come off, and then I can access the bolts that are way down in there. So that's the plan. I'm gonna get this taken off first, get those 2 bolts out, and then we'll drop the pan. Okay, so I got both these brackets removed. They were right here. Got both of them moved, and up behind all of that, right there, is another 10 mil bolt for the oil pan. And even further back is another 10 mil for the oil pan. Pretty sure the same on both sides. Yeah, right there. You can barely see it. Right there. And again, another one right there. So, get those taken out real quick. Get this oil pan off. Get out. Alright, I'm about to slide my ass up underneath here. Let's set the camera up so y'all can watch me drop this oil pan on my face. Trying not to, at least, though. But I got both the bolts off in the back, and I think that's about it. I'm pretty sure I got everything. Look at that real quick. My big ass dome. All right, looks like we're good. I'm gonna pop this all off. Let's see. Oh, so much filth. Looks like I might have to get my mallet out. Damn. I wonder where I even put my mallet. Give me 1 second. Got me one of these auto mallets. Hey, it worked. Let's see if we can drop this straight out. There we go. Yep, there's no metal flakes in here. I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna stick this little pan right up underneath here. Just in case. Oh, shit. Just in case it starts to drip at all. It seriously looks like I don't even have a rear main seal leak. Oh no, it does. It definitely does. Now that I'm looking up in there a little further. The bottom of this motor looks good though. Oh, you know what? I might not be able to track these rod bearings out. This might become a lot bigger job than I thought it would be. Damn. I really don't want to pull the crank out, because if I gotta pull the crank out, I gotta pull everything else. I'd have to pull the main caps because of the main girdle that's in here. Damn. Well, this job just got a lot harder. Let me come back to this. I'm just gonna think about this for a minute. I'll be back. Alright, so basically the whole plan of this car was to try and get it up and running for winter. And the thing is like, if I can't, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to just pull the main like that. I'm gonna have to drop the motor and the transmission, which I don't know if I will actually have to drop the transmission. I might be able to leave the transmission in there for now, but I'm pretty sure I will have to drop it just to get it apart, which means I really need to put the oil pan back on to get the motor out. So now I'm just kind of sitting here contemplating what to do, because I didn't expect that. I thought for sure there was already fucking, because like on my other main girdle on the Y8 motor that I have, at least from memory, there's slots so you can get to the rod bolts to be able to pull the rod caps off. On here, I could pull the rod caps off. I use a crescent wrench, but if I do that, I won't be able to properly torque down the rod caps, which means I could have catastrophic failure and blow the motor even worse than what it is now. So my whole thought on it is like, is it worth it right now to pull this out? Which is probably gonna be what I do, which means I'll have to put the oil pan back on. I'll have to get my cherry picker out. It just got a lot more in depth than I wanted it to be. So yeah, that's kind of my whole thing on it right now. Is it's just a little bit. It's much now. It's a lot more than what it was. I'm not a pussy though, so I think what I'm gonna do is looking around, seeing what all I have to pull in order to get the motor out, get the transmission out. Because I do need to do a clutch on the car anyways. I need to do a clutch. I need to do that rear main bearing or rear main seal. Yeah, fuck it, whatever. Yeah, either way, I got to do that seal on the back. Got to do the front main seal. I think it might just be easier to rebuild it outside of the car and then take my time putting the motor all back together and then just slotting it back into place. So I think that's going to be the plan. I'm going to see how much of the wire harness I got to pull back, see what all I have to unhook so far, because I already got a bunch of stuff already unhooked. So really it won't be that much harder to pull the motor out since I already pulled the head out. But I think this is definitely going to end up in another part. So I think I'm just going to end off this video here. If I don't, you'll see more of the video. Either way, if you enjoy what you see, please subscribe. Go follow my social medias. I do have an Instagram. I have a TikTok. Don't really use it. I am starting up a Snapchat that you'll be able to follow along with, like in-life stuff with the cars, stuff that you probably won't see on the channel or the Instagram, just stuff that I do during the day. If you like that kind of stuff, you can go over to Snapchat, follow me on there. But I will try to figure out how to link everything in the bio. If not, you'll be able to, I'll put my Instagram username and go follow that. And then from there, there's a link tree in that bio, which will bring you to everything on my other social medias. So if you guys enjoy, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, just see how far I can go with this. Really, I only started this YouTube channel just to show what I have. I ain't got shit but aspirations and dreams, so I'm gonna get on it though. Y'all have a good day. Alright, so I decided I'm going to keep working on this. At the moment, I'm kind of just looking into it. I'm gonna start pulling this wire harness back. I think that's the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull all the wire harness back, see what coolant lines need to be disconnected. So, I know this clutch master cylinder piece right here, this line needs to be disconnected. That goes out and around. It's got a mount in the back that I also got to disconnect. I've got motor mount 1. There's a mount down in here, right here. That's the mount down there. You can kind of see it. Gotta disconnect that mount. I've got a stabilizer mount, another stabilizer mount, which is part of the like old AC bracket on some other cars, but this is the same mount that goes over to that. And then I've got this transmission mount, and then pretty much the motor should be able to drop out. I think the plan is just to pull it out the top and just twist it and pull it out. I have to pull both the axle shafts, which we'll have to go over here, pull my axle nut, drop this whole knuckle, and then I can basically pull the axle out this way and then pop it back out the other way. And I'll do that on both sides. But for now, get working on this wire harness, the wire harness out of the way. This really turned into a mess. But I think I'm just gonna get started and just start pulling stuff at this point. If I don't start now, I'm not gonna start ever. So let's get on that. So I'm gonna call it a day tonight. I got the last bit of lines off, and I did pull the wiring harness back, but I'm cooked for today. Body hurts, back hurts, I got a headache. Try not to be that guy, but we're gonna get the rest of this done. But for right now, I'm just gonna close up on this for now. It should be ready to be pulled tomorrow. I will have to disconnect the clutch line that runs to the fucking, I can't even remember. I can't think right now. Either way, I gotta disconnect the clutch line. Pretty sure all the hoses are disconnected. So pretty much all I have to do is get my cherry picker out, get this motor rigged up to it, and then work on pulling both the axle nuts, getting the axles out. Once the axles are out, we should be good to drop it. So That's gonna be the plan for tomorrow. It's late. It's about 5:30ish. My outside light just kicked on, so I know it's starting to get dark, and I can't see anything on this phone. So I'm gonna take my ass inside and clean up, rest for a little while, take some pain medicine. So peace out for today. Back in my garage at the moment. Did get some lighting hooked up. Right now I am disassembling a few things and kind of trying to move stuff around at the moment because I'm going to pull the motor. I want to have room and space and place to put stuff, and my garage is a mess at the moment. And so right now I'm actually taking the bolts off of my turbo motor, which is sitting right over here. And this is what's supposed to be going in that over there. But for now, I'm trying to move all this stuff out of the way, move this out of the way so that I can get this off of the stand and sat on a tire, wrapped up, and kind of just put it over there so that I can get this engine stand to work on this motor that's in there. So I've got a lot to do. I got random shit. I got a mower there and 2 push mowers and another mower and a stack of tires, a bunch of mini bike stuff and bike frames, and yeah, I need to move shit around. Random fenders for the Z that didn't work. Those things are garbage. They came with the car. I fucking hate them. I need this in order to get that out. So that's what I'm working on. I'm just going to be moving stuff around, trying to get this car pushed back, get room, and then get room in front so I can set up a table and some other stuff to do work on. So that's the plan. I'm going to keep working on this a little more. Alright, after a long ass day, finally got all the tires in here. Got Lucy. Suki's this one over here in the corner. Mind you, it's like 6 o'clock out, so it's dark. And I got Claptrap back in the back corner. The bumper on the back. You know, that'll eventually end up on the car. The head's on the floor, antifreeze and oil bin. But reorganized the whole garage. So now I got a little bit of a workspace. And I can fit all 3 of my cars in here. But eventually we'll get back on this. The only reason I move the whole garage around is so that I can get the other motor out with my cherry picker and the engine stand over there, so I can get this out and get it on a stand and rebuild it properly. Because right now the main girdle's on the bottom, because I don't know if I've shown you, but the main girdle is different than the motor on this one. Because this one you can actually fit something in between to get the connecting rod bolts out. There we go. My brain is just locking up a little. But this one doesn't. It's like all one piece. So it's just kind of an issue that I can't really handle at the moment. So we'll have to take the motor out, take the transmission out. I can replace my rear main and front main seal. And I got a clutch to put on. Get that clutch on there, which is like a stage 3 clutch. Because eventually this, if it's rebuilt right, we'll get a supercharger until this motor pops. But until then, it'll just be stock with an air intake that I'm stealing out of this car. Stealing that air intake because that's not going to need it, since I've got that 70 mil air intake over there, you know. But for now, this is going to be where it's at. I'll have another video eventually with more content on this car. This one's kind of just here. I have future plans for it. I'll talk more about that one. And this one you guys will learn eventually after this build is done. This build will start. This has been ongoing for like 3 years. That motor's been built for 2 years. So, but you'll learn more about this car. I love this car. Love this car to death. This is my first car. Second, and then the third one over here. I love driving this one, but this one I really want to put up for the winter, so hopefully we can get this one together. It snowed today, but it's kind of just one of those things where I'm kind of like, I'd rather take the time, do it right, get it done, and then I can upload more content on this later on. Doesn't really matter right now, but I did get the garage completely figured out. I got parts up there, beyond belief for the Civic. That whole 2 top shelves basically is everything for the Civic on that shelf, racing coilovers for it on that shelf, and then those boxes will be on a later date. I'll explain those ones eventually, but those are for that. Along with that box underneath my desk over there. But I'm just gonna end this video off. So y'all have a good evening. Y'all have a good evening. Deuces.